Hello, hi everyone, I'm Cryptic Hybrid and this is Old-Fashioned Way to Die. Now, Old-Fashioned Way to Die is a hand-drawn text-based detective game that's set in 1926 and has you investigating the death of a baron. Now, we don't know if it's natural causes, if it's foul play involved, so we're gonna check it out together. Old-Fashioned Way to Die. Let's play. Hello, Detective Scott Catmore speaking, I guess. It's Chief Inspector. I got a call from our doctor that the old Baron Feinhurst died this morning. Or this afternoon, sorry. The doctor's on call and can't come to confirm the death. Could you go instead? Yes, of course, sir. Probably there's nothing suspicious, maybe just a heart attack. He was quite an old man. And moreover, when somebody important dies, we should check everything, just to be sure. I understand. I know that you can't make any conclusion about the cause of his death, and moreover, we don't have resources to investigate each death. So just go there, ask the family a few questions about what has happened, but remember to be very polite with them. I don't want to get calls about your tactless behavior. Those are very powerful people, and we don't want to get into any conflict. I understand. I'll do my best. Politics, goddammit. Well, he's certainly dead. I can't see any wounds on the body which might cause his death, though he could have been poisoned. I guess I better ask others if there could be any reason to suspect that anybody wanted to kill him. Click on the suspects to interview them. You can open brief notes and action menu, the brief notes and action menu by clicking on the icon. Alright. So these are the people. Baron Francis Feinhurst. Murder. Family. Who has motive and opportunity? No crime to declare, leave the case and go home, finish with motives, and proceed with two opportunities, and ready to accuse someone of murder. Finish interviewing. Okay, let's talk to some people, like this lady right here. Could you please introduce yourself? Well, my name is Lady Augustus Chiswick, but everybody here calls me Aunt Dahlia. My dear husband died 11 years ago, and since then I lived in this house where I grew up. Don't get me wrong, I don't have any money problem. My dear Augustus made some preparations to allow me to live a decent life in case of a death. It's just that, I decided to let my children live in the family castle without all me bothering them. But I still write them and visit them, don't get me wrong. It's just that there is something in returning at the end of your life to the place of your young years. But now, my dear brother passed away so suddenly, and there is somebody to talk about, good old times. Well, nobody, I guess. Nobody to talk about good old times. Even if Francis usually didn't want to talk much about his childhood memories, or our childhood memories. Alright. What can you tell me about the late Baron Feinhurst? It was all so awful. My poor Francis. He was my brother, Baron Francis Feinhurst. Of course, he wasn't young, but it was all so sudden. I was telling him so many times to try to calm down, don't overreact, but of course, once he was getting angry, he just couldn't stop. It was a heart attack, right? Oh, poor Francis. Well, we don't know yet if it was a heart attack, so okay. I'll talk to you later. That's not a lot of information from the sister of the deceased. Okay, let's see these people. Could you please introduce yourself? My name is Susan Feinhurst. And I believe that now my husband inherits a title which makes me the Honorable Mrs. Feinhurst. Okay. What can you tell me about the late Baron Feinhurst? I must say that I don't like the fact that you are questioning me or the family as if we were criminals. There is absolutely nothing suspicious in the death of the Baron. Wait, I mean, I'm here to decide that, not you. He was an old man, and I don't want to hear even a hint of a scandal. But since you ask, I will just say that my father-in-law was quite an unpleasant person. Moreover, he was not managing his finances well, if you understand what I mean. Alright, so you didn't like that he was spending too much money. I'm sure that after my husband will be in charge, the social status of our family will recover, and we will take a respectful place in society. Okay. What about Lady Chiswick? Oh, Lady Augustus Chiswick, Aunt Dahlia is a sister of the late Baron. Her husband, Lord Chiswick, belonged to one of the best families. After his death, the Baron convinced her to move back to the house. Probably is quite nostalgic to return to her childhood home, though during marriage she lives in a beautiful castle. She's a very nice lady, though maybe a bit too soft. I guess she shouldn't have let the Baron manage her inheritance. I don't know the details, but I suspect that quite big past of it is now gone. Quite a big part of it is now gone. Interesting. So the Baron was a big spender. That might be a motive. Him squandering the family's money. Could you please introduce yourself? My name is Roderick Feinhurst. I'm sure you must have heard of me. No? I prefer if you confirm my father's death and let us grieve alone. Okay, wait, just chillax. What can you tell me about your father? Baron Feinhurst was my father. His death was such a shock. We are not quite ourselves. We're all not quite ourselves. Yeah, you're all devastated, I can see that. Of course, he was an old man and was often losing his temper and was drinking too much, but still. Well, that's quite a lot. If not his heart attack. Again, why would you suspect a heart attack? He could have lived another 10 or even more years. It is so devastating. What can you tell me about Lady Chiswick? Lady Chiswick is my aunt. She was a sister of my dear father. She moved in the house soon after the death of her husband, Lord Chiswick, and since then she's lived with us. She's a very kind woman, and we are all very happy that she stays here. Is he truthful saying that, or is he being diplomatic? Tell me about Mrs. Roderick Feinhurst. Mrs. Feinhurst, Susan, is my second wife. My first wife died when our daughter was still very young, and I decided that marrying again would be a good decision. Even if we don't have children with her, she's helping me in my political career a lot. You know, if your wife is friends with wives of the right people, it is important as having the right. It is as important as having the right friends yourself. Wow, such a I married someone and she's very helpful with my political career. Very materialistic, mister. Then again, probably your wife is as well. Let's see her. Could you please introduce yourself? My name is Nina Goddard. Goddard, yes. As you notice, my surname isn't Feinhurst. I'm not their closest relative. The late Baron was my granduncle. After my parents passed away several years ago, wait, I came to live here. Okay, the text could be tweaked a little bit. I'm not married and probably won't be. You see, my parents were not rich, and after a marriage, I would inherit only a small amount of money. And moreover, I'm not the kind of girl that people notice at all, so I'm staying here because this is the most appropriate place. Of course, I could get a job and live by my own, or on my own, but the family can't accept that. Alright, tell me about the Baron. It's so awful what has happened. You ask all these questions because you suspect that it was not death of natural causes? I hope it is just a routine formality. Well, technically it is at this point. But I wouldn't be surprised if Baron poisoned himself just to punish us all. He was not a nice person. Yeah, but that's kind of weird. Punish people by killing yourself? I mean... Baron was my granduncle. He and his sister, Aunt Dahlia, were taking care for me after my parents died. Well, he wasn't really taking care of me, only managing my finances. As you know, a young girl is not supposed to do it herself, even if she could. Maybe you're a little resentful because of that? I'd say that probably too many people prefer to see him dead, but it doesn't mean any of us would do it. If you are wondering if I had a motive, I'd say that for me his death is not actually beneficial by any means. Now his son and son's wife will manage everything, which makes my place in this house quite uncertain. Alright. What about Lady Chiswick? Tell me about her. Lady Chiswick is my grand aunt and godmother. She was taking care of me since my parents passed away. She's like a mother to me. She's a very kind person, totally not like her brother, the late Baron. Aunt Dahlia is living in the house. Has been living in the house for several years. She moved here after the death of her husband. It was before I moved in, and I've never met Lord Chiswick. Maybe she didn't want to bother the family of his son, new Lord Chiswick, or maybe she was feeling nostalgic for the house she grew up in, or perhaps because she missed Baron. Who knows? Maybe at his younger age he was a nicer person. Anyway, I'm not sure how good decision it was. How good of a decision it was. Baron wasn't really treating her with full respect. Took over control of her finances, lost quite some of her money, and would probably lose even more if he didn't die. I wonder what she would be doing now. Is she implying that maybe Lady Chiswick had a motive because of the spending? Alright, tell me about Roderick Feinhurst. Roderick Feinhurst is my uncle. He's the only son of the late Baron, so now he will get the title. Maybe you've heard that he's participating in the elections of the local government. Newspapers say that he has a good chance, and I probably would agree. The death of the Baron might even increase his chances since now he's got the title. Amazing how such a thing as a title in front of your name can change people's opinion about you. Well, you know what, different times, 1926. Susan Feinhurst is the second wife of my uncle. She's quite snobbish, as those who are not born in aristocratic families and later enter the society. She's trying her best to make an impression that she was always part of the group. Alright. Despite us living in the same house, I don't often talk to her. She's always busy with women committees, organizing parties, making visits to her important friends. Yeah, because she wants to go up in the world, right? And, you know, push her husband as well. Probably now, after she will get the title in the house, she would finally feel happy. Alright. Wait, if I go back, can I talk about... Yes, okay. So, we can ask about, you know, other people that we've interviewed. Okay, let's see. Tell me about Roderick Feinhurst. Roderick Feinhurst is my nephew. He was the only son of my brother, the late Baron, and now he should inherit the title. He is a very respectful man in our neighborhood. I'm sure you know it. You also must have heard that he is running for local government, and everybody says that he is the main candidate. Though I suspect that the election was actually the idea of his wife, Susan. She's very ambitious, and poor Roderick is doing everything she wants. Don't get me wrong, Susan knows what needs to be done. She's a great help and advisor to Roderick. And now he gave her the title that she so desperately wanted. And Nina? Miss Nina Goddard is my grandniece and goddaughter. Poor girl, her parents died when she was still a child, and I took her to live with us. Perhaps my brother wasn't quite happy about inviting her, but he understood what family responsibility is. What family responsibility is. Don't get me wrong, there wasn't any conflict between them. My brother was not... While there wasn't any conflict between them, my brother was not the most friendly person. You know, she's a very nice and sweet person, though people don't really notice her. I don't know if the fact that people don't like her is the reason or the consequence of it. Thus, she spends most of her time alone reading. She's always such great help for me in everything. And not only to me, she's kind to everybody. Oh, poor child, she was talking very personally and was so upset when Francis was kicking our old dog or screaming at him. And now she got a puppy, and who knows what would have happened to the poor creature if Francis would be in a bad mood. At least this creature should be happy about the death of my dear brother. Wait, dog? The dog did it. Maybe not though. The dog did it. This little guy did it. Although the bigger dog, the older dog, looks more like he's sad. Maybe he knows he did something wrong, killing a human. Hello, could you please introduce yourself? My name is Trevor Lofthouse. I'm a guest in this house, not a member of the family. I'm not sure that I can tell you much. Maybe better ask others instead. Wait, chillax. I'm gonna talk to everyone, it's just fine, just, you know. Tell me about the Baron. Wait, why do you ask me? If you think it was a murder, I will tell you right away that I had nothing to do with it. Right, of course. That's what a murderer would say. I barely knew him. Of course all the family hated him, but I think he liked me. You see, I have plans for his granddaughter, and I'm sure he would happily agree to this marriage. I like how he said, like, I don't know the guy, but everyone hated him. Alright, what do you know about Lady Chiswick? Lady Chiswick is, I think, sister of the Baron. She's a widow, and she stays in the house for many years. She seems like a pleasant old lady, always very polite. Maybe too conservative, as all people her age, but at least she understands that you can be young only once, and you should use this time for its best. It would be awful if she wouldn't let Linda visit parties. Linda? Tell me about Nina Goddard. Who? Ah, Nina. To be honest, I don't know anything about her. I mean, who would talk to her when there is such a girl as Linda? You understand what I mean? It's hard to believe that they're relatives. Okay. Roderick Feinhurst? What do you know about him? Oh, Mr. Feinhurst is the eldest, and maybe the only, I'm not sure, son of the late Baron, so it makes him the new Baron now. Moreover, if he got elected, it would increase even more the status of the family. I think he doesn't have any objections to me marrying his daughter. He's often quite busy and I didn't see him much. And Mrs. Roderick Feinhurst? Oh, Mrs. Feinhurst, as I know, is the second wife of Mr. Feinhurst. I'd say she was lucky to marry him. She is not quite from high society, though I see that she really tries hard, and she is thinking too much about money and position. When you are truly rich, you don't bother to think about such things. Probably she would prefer that I would have a little title too, but my family's bank account covers this imperfection. Okay, so he's a rich guy without any titles. Interesting. Let's go back to her, cause she's now I ain't saying she a gold digger, you know, but let's talk about Trevor and Nina. Nina first. Nina is a grandniece of the late Baron. I think her parents died some time ago when she was living here since then. She has been living here since then. Aunt Dahlia and Baron are her closest relatives, and they were supposed to look after her. They say she's quite clever, but if you ask me, Nina is not being reasonable. She's not getting younger, and now at her age it is quite difficult for her to find a husband. I wonder what she's going to do. She can't live with us forever. Yeah, of course, because you don't want her to live with you forever anyway. You're too busy wanting to make friends in high places. Alright, what do you know about Trevor Lofthouse? I don't really know much about Mr. Lofthouse. There's an endless chain of admirers of my stepdaughter. They are appearing and disappearing faster than we can remember their names. Oh, okay. Mr. Lofthouse is visiting us already for some time, and maybe it's going to be an engagement between him and Linda. At least I've heard that he is from a decent and wealthy family. Linda shouldn't miss her chance. Okay, so Linda is the daughter of the Baron's son. Okay. Yeah, okay. Can you please introduce yourself? My name is Linda Feinhurst. You can call me Linda, friends call me so. I'd offer you a drink, but you probably are on duty, right? Maybe next time. Can I ask you what for all these questions? I don't see anything suspicious about the death of the Baron. Poor grandfather, all this is so awful. I mean, why would you care about me investigating, you know? Your grandfather is dead. If there's something wrong, would you want people to know? Tell me about your grandfather. Baron was my grandfather. It was a heart attack, right? Well, to be honest, no surprise. He was so easily getting irritated and so emotionally reacting to everything that I guess we should all have expected that one day would be one drop out of the edge. It would be one drop out of the edge. Huh. Interesting choice of words. Though I can't remember if he was in particular angry today. Probably it's not nice of me to say so about him, taking that he just passed away. But he wasn't the nicest person. I'm not sure if he was nice to anyone. Yeah. Apparently that's a theme. But not being nice, that doesn't mean there's gonna be someone who wants him dead. Tell me about Lady Chiswick. Aunt Dahlia is actually my grand aunt. My father is her nephew. She's living with us for many years. I think it was an idea of grandfather, though not sure why she agreed. Maybe she felt nostalgic? Contrary to grandfather, she's a very sweet person, never saying any bad word. Though maybe sometimes she should have been more strict, especially with grandfather. Really? And Trevor? Trevor, Mr. Lofthouse, is a friend of mine. He's a very charming man. Moreover, he is from a good family, though I haven't met them yet, so I think there won't be any objections if you will decide to propose to me. Right, so he's one of her suitors. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that, since nothing is decided yet, but I really want to get away from this house, stop listening to opinions of others about what to do and what not to do. I mean, sure, go. Tell me about Miss Nina Goddard. No, Nina's not my sister, she's a cousin. She doesn't have her family, so she's living with us. Have you seen the hat that she put on today? Straw hat, gosh. No surprise that she's not married. And I'm not sure if she ever will be if she's not going to London for parties and just sitting home and spending her time with books and dogs. I mean, she's a nice person, but kinda dull. Tell me about your stepmother. Susan is not my mother, she's my father's second wife. I'd say she's trying too hard to get into high society. No doubt she will ask to call her Honorable Mrs. Feinhurst. So ridiculous. Aristocracy is something you are born with. She won't get it by wearing fancy fur in a summer day. Yeah, but... Okay, so she's a climber, you know. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if she would want to kill my grandfather. She was so impatient to get the title. Okay. I mean, I'm not a fan of her, so maybe we should put her on the list. Cause she might be the one with the biggest thing to gain. Cause she would gain a title. She would gain her husband would take control of the family's money. He would get elected. You know, she has a lot to gain from this. And your father? Probably now he will inherit this title and will take control over everything here. See, exactly. He is also running for some governmental position. I think the election would be sometime soon. I like how she doesn't care about her father's doings. He's probably quite sad about the death of his father now. They were not really close, often were arguing about how to manage the estate. Grandfather's death was certainly a shock to him. Yeah. But his wife, I don't think it's that big of a shock. Let's see, Nina, what are you saying about Linda? Linda's my cousin. Everybody says how beautiful and charming she is. Did you also notice her first out of the others? No, not really. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. We didn't grow up together. I came to the family at my teenage years. But even if we had grown up together, I'm not sure if we would become friends, cause I feel we are too different. She's bright and always surrounded by her friends and admirers, while me, well, I prefer the company of a good book. Trevor, though? I can't say much about Mr. Lofthouse. He's a cheerful young man, kinda shallow for my taste, like all these young guys that now she meets at the parties. They don't really have any profession or any occupation and just enjoy their life without worries and thoughts. Well, okay, because he's from a rich family. That kind of, you know. I suspect he plans to marry my cousin Linda. They were all saying that he is from a good and wealthy family and he would be a great catch for Linda. But I will tell you that I've heard from the Baron that he has learned that is not quite true and he isn't as rich as he says. I suspect that if others will hear about that, they won't allow this marriage, but it's none of my business. Huh. Really? Is Trevor a fake rich guy? Is that the thing? Cause that might be motive. If the Baron found out that Trevor lied about his financials... Okay, what do you know? What do you know about Trevor? Young Mr. Lofthouse is a friend of my daughter, Linda. As I understand, this young man is from a good family, but I'm trying not to intervene with plans of my daughter. If she finds him amusing, I wouldn't have any objections. Moreover, he seems like a decent young man. Right. Okay, let's talk about Linda, though. Miss Feinhurst, Linda, is my dear daughter. Her mother died when she was very young, and I was trying to give her a careless childhood. Now I'm thinking about it, perhaps I was spoiling her too much. But why not spoil your daughter if it makes you both happy? Well, cause that's not gonna really prepare her for, adulthood. If she wants something, then nothing can stop her from getting it. For example, even if I was skeptical about her new friend, Mr. Lofthouse, I wouldn't say anything against it, just to not upset her. My father, on the other hand, never really cared about anybody's feelings, and was for a strange reason very opposing to their marriage. I guess now his opinion won't be taken into account. Yeah, but she didn't care. Like, she's like, Linda doesn't seem to care about really anyone's opinion. The Barons, her father, so... I mean, she doesn't seem that into Trevor anyway. Like, she's like, if it works out. Alright, let's finish with motives and proceed to opportunities. Let's see. Could you please tell me what exactly had happened at the party? Where were the others? Who was pouring drinks? Who was drinking what? Oh, my poor brother. How could I have known that this little tea party would turn out to be like this? I guess you never know. You see, the tea party was my idea, and of course I knew that people would be drinking, not exactly tea. You think that the glass of martini was the cause of Francis' death? It is so devastating to think about it, but being honest, probably he would be drinking today even if there wouldn't be any party. So he had a martini, interesting. Okay. I remember poor Francis was drinking martini. I was always asking him to try to avoid alcohol. He isn't young anymore, but he was never listening to me. Events of this afternoon mixed in my head a bit. It was such a shock, but I will try to tell you what I remember. I was sitting on one of the benches, enjoying the warm weather. It all seems so distant now. I remember Nina, dear child, approached me and offered to bring me a cup of tea. It was very nice of her, since she already got a drink herself. I think it was a martini, and carrying two things isn't that easy. She left and soon returned with my tea. Okay, interesting. So Nina had a martini too. Alright. What else? When we all gathered in the garden, Francis was talking to Linda, and as usual was about to lose his temper. Really? They were standing next to the trolley with drinks, so I didn't hear what they were talking about. Then Linda went put herself a glass of martini. Okay, so Linda had a martini too. So 3 people were drinking martinis. The Baron, Nina, and Linda. Then Linda went to put herself a glass of martini and went away from him, and I think till the tragedy she was talking to Mr. Lofthouse. So they were having a disagreement. The Baron and Linda. Maybe he was talking to her about Lofthouse? Poor Francis was standing next to the trolley drinking, and then all of a sudden he started to suffocate and fell to the ground. We all rushed at him, but it was too late. He passed away so fast. Oh, please give me a moment to calm down. Well, thank you. I'm gonna talk to you later. Interesting. Let's see if Linda is gonna give us more info on that. Oh, it's so awful to think about. We were all having a little afternoon drink in the garden. It wasn't supposed to be anything special, just an afternoon cocktail. When I came, I talked with grandfather for a couple of minutes. As usual, he was in a bad mood, so I took a drink. It was a martini with a green olive, and then was talking to Trevor, Mr. Lofthouse. I think he had one glass a bit too much, but well, it's a party. We were just having an easy chat. He was telling me one of his funny stories. Actually, I've already heard this one, but decided not to mention it to him. Others were here and there in the garden. Dahlia was sitting at her usual place in the shadow, drinking her usual tea. She's always doing the same. Nina came wearing her straw hat. If we live in the countryside, it doesn't mean she should dress like peasants, right? But come on, like... Jesus Christ. Okay, she's not very fashionable, but that's her thing. She was sitting next to Aunt Dahlia, and probably dogs were near them. My stepmother, I think, was drinking sherry. Okay, interesting. So she was having sherry, not a martini, and wearing this fur mantle on such a warm and sunny day. My father was smoking in the distance. Probably he was drinking whiskey. Okay, so whiskey for her father. Then we heard the grandfather doesn't feel well. He seemed to struggle to breathe, His face became red, then he fell on the ground. His glass and some other stuff from the trolley fell to the ground. My father tried to help him. I asked Trevor to run back to the house and call a doctor, but there's nothing we could do. He died just a few moments later. It was all so horrible. No doubts now it will be in my nightmares. I can't imagine how you can have such a job seeing dead bodies every day. Well, even if not every day, it's still awful. Yeah, it's my job. You know, you know, not everyone was born with a silver spoon in their mouth, you know? Okay. Alright, let's see what Trevor says. Fine, it all happened here in the garden. There was some kind of small party, only family members and me. Let's see, when I came, I noticed a very fine bottle of whiskey standing on a trolley. No doubt it was put there especially for Mr. Feinhurst, Linda's father, I mean. I poured myself a bit and the smell was indeed rich. And since Linda was still talking to her grandfather, I poured myself another one. And that's how you get drunk. You know, you start with one and then another one, and then Linda took a glass of martini and went further in the garden. Okay, so yeah. So again, he confirms that Linda had a martini. Then Baron approached the trolley and started to make himself a martini at the same time. I remember the other girl, the one with the straw hat, what was her name? Came by, put down her glass, poured a cup of tea, then left again with the glass and the cup. Okay, I got myself one more glass of Mr. Feinhurst's whiskey and joined Linda. I just started to tell her a very amusing story which happened during the last car racing? Racing, maybe. When my friend, I guess it's not important now, but it was a very funny story indeed. Anyway, we heard some noise and saw the old Baron lying on the ground and breathing very heavily. We didn't know what to do. I was about to run in the house to call a doctor, but then he died. We decided to call the doctor anyway, and probably you came instead of him to confirm the death of the Baron. I think that's all I can say. The old man died in the middle of the party of the heart attack. The old man died. Yeah, it's very convenient that you have all this. It's like, oh, it was a heart attack. Everyone's like, just a heart attack. Alright, Nina, tell me. What happened? Sure, I'll try to describe everything I remember. I think it was the idea of Aunt Dahlia to gather in the garden for an afternoon drink. There wasn't anything strange in it. We were doing it many times in the past, of course, when weather allowed it. We were all in the garden. There was a trolley with drinks. I wonder why you need to know who was drinking which cocktail. You suspect that the Baron was poisoned? What a nonsense. It definitely looked like it was a heart attack. Why is everyone saying like, oh, definitely a heart attack, definitely. Like they wouldn't even conceive of someone poisoning him. His face got red and he was suffocating. Then he fell to the ground. My uncle, Mr. Feinhurst, tried to help him, open the buttons of his shirt, but it didn't help. I guess it was all the heat and alcohol. Right. But if you insist, I was drinking a martini. Aunt Dahlia was drinking tea with milk, but no sugar. I made a cup for her myself. I've seen Susan holding a glass of sherry. Mr. Lofthouse was drinking whiskey. He had a few too many glasses, though it's the middle of the day. He had a few glasses, though it's the middle of the day. Probably Mr. Feinhurst was also having a glass of whiskey. I don't know what Linda had, though. Maybe a glass of martini or maybe some other cocktail. She had a martini. We have that. I don't know if it's confirmed, but we have multiple accounts saying that. Now, about where we were. Before Baron started to feel bad, I was sitting next to Aunt Dahlia on the bench. Linda was chatting and quite loudly laughing with Mr. Lofthouse. Susan was sitting by on another bench, and my uncle was smoking nearby. Then we saw that the Baron is unwell. It looked serious, so we came to him, but couldn't do anything. It was all so fast and sudden. Alright, so one thing that's weird here. So she says that she was sitting next to Aunt Dahlia on the bench. Linda was chatting. So, but didn't Linda say that? Let me see. That. Okay, Mr. Lofthouse, we were having chatting. Okay. Okay, so Aunt Dahlia was sitting on her usual place in the shadow drinking her usual tea. Oh no, she was sitting. Okay, never mind. Okay. Okay, so she was sitting with Aunt Dahlia, Nina, but she also had the martini. Interesting. Okay. All right. Tell me what happened. It all happened at the party just a couple of hours ago. Since the day all the family was at home, of course, usually I'm paying visits in the afternoon and not just sitting home, Aunt Dahlia, Lady Chiswick, suggested to throw a little tea party in the garden. I've taken a place on one of the benches in shadows because it's very sunny and warm today. I was drinking sherry. My husband brought it to me. We talked a little while about visits we need to pay next week. Then he walked a bit further to smoke his cigar. It's very hard to get rid of cigar smell out of my fur mantle. Aunt Dahlia was sitting nearby drinking her tea. I think Nina was also next to her. I've seen Mr. Lofthouse was standing for some time next to the trolley, no doubt tasting a bit too much whiskey from my husband's bottle. Then he approached my stepdaughter and they were laughing over something quite loudly. Then we all noticed that the Baron is suffocating. His face became red, he dropped the glass, we all gathered around and were trying to help him, but suddenly he died. Of course, it was very awful. I guess now, when you finally finished with your questions, we can start preparing for the funeral. There's really a lot to be done. I need to organize everything, inform our friends. You're already leaving, right? You are already leaving. No, wait, I'm not leaving yet. Just chillax. Okay. So she's suspicious because she wants this kind of over with and done for. Now, is it because she wants to capitalize on the death, although she's not the one who caused it? Or is she because, you know, she caused the death and she wants, you know, the detective to just go as fast as possible? Alright. Mr. Feinhurst, tell me what happened. Okay, I'll tell you, but let's get it over quickly. I don't see what all these questions are for. My father just died, and instead of preparing for his funeral, we have to answer your unnecessary questions. Alright, so we were all in the garden. My Aunt Dahlia thinks that it's important to gather all together from time to time. She's an old lady, and I think we should please her from time to time. Of course, my father was never in favor of such parties. He thinks it's a waste of time. Well, he thought it was a waste of time. He's dead now. Anyway, we all gathered in the garden and got our drinks. There was a trolley with drinks, it's still here. I asked the servants to keep it. We all needed a good drink after what happened. I don't like cocktails, so I got myself a glass of whiskey. I'm quite sure Aunt Dahlia was having a cup of tea. My wife, Mrs. Feinhurst, asked me to pour her a glass of sherry. I don't remember what others took. I would guess that Nina also had tea, and I think Mr. Lofthouse was considering to try my whiskey. It's very fine quality. Interesting, so he's saying that Nina also had tea, but she didn't, she had a martini. As I gave my wife a drink, I went a bit further away from the others to smoke a cigar. You see, my wife doesn't like the cigar smell. Then I heard some noise. I saw my father lying on the ground. I hurried him, tried to open his top buttons of his shirt, but he already passed away. I believe now that that was all, right, Inspector? Now you will finally leave us? Okay, so right now I'm thinking between Linda and Nina. I mean, Linda would have some motive, and she did have a martini, but she got the glass herself. I wish I could investigate the thing here. So the tea, she was on the bench, Nina came. Alright. Ready to accuse someone of murder. Finish interviewing. Alright, so okay, I don't think Lady Chiswick did it. I don't think Trevor did it. I think he was just enjoying the whiskey. I don't think Roderick killed his father. Now it's between Linda, Nina, and Mrs. Roderick. Not Mr. Mrs. The Mrs., I think she's just a gold digger. So no. And she didn't even get close to the table, to the drink table. She went on a bench and her husband brought her a sherry. So Linda or Nina. Now Linda was having maybe heated discussion with her grandfather. But she didn't really seem to care much about what her grandfather thought. Like, it wouldn't influence her decisions. She would still live her life. Whereas Nina, she seems like a sweet girl, but she's also very red, she's quiet. Maybe she would be the most knowledgeable of what to put in a drink to cause something that looks like a heart attack. And she had the martini, whereas Roderick thought that Nina would have tea. Is Nina like really the type to have a cocktail? She doesn't seem like it. She seemed like she was a very quiet girl, that she didn't like parties. So she like you know, wearing a straw hat. She's not about the fashion. She's not about looking for a husband. She's not about, you know, meeting new people and high society people. So would she really have a martini at a tea party? All right, I'm gonna accuse Miss Nina Goddard. Well, Inspector, you have quite serious accusations. Probably you have noticed that from what others were saying, that the late Baron wasn't the nicest person. But why from everyone would you accuse me? Do I look suspicious to you at all? Well, it's more about your attitude. Yes, I admit that he was cruel to dogs, and he made the life of our dog unhappy. I'm terrified to think what would have happened to the puppy if Baron didn't pass away, but hardly any judge will believe in such a motive. I believe everyone sighed with relief when Baron died. Well, maybe I was next to the trolley when the Baron was taking his drink. Yes! And maybe he by accident took my glass, and maybe therefore before that I had a few moments to add poison to his drink. But why would I actually do it? I believe everybody sighed with relief when the Baron died. You just keep saying that, but see, you literally just said that you had the opportunity. Moreover, I still think that it was a heart attack. Even if it was poisoning, probably Baron did it himself, just to punish us all. It's definitely something he would do. I mean, you see, even if there was poison in the Baron's drink, his glass is already carefully washed by servants. And we know that there was no poison in the bottle because Linda and I were also drinking martini. Yes, so that's why, that's why it must have been someone who had access to the drink, not to the bottle necessarily. So, Inspector, you have the motive to which a rare person would actually believe, and you have the opportunity, but no evidence to confirm that I put poison in the glass. You can't really prove much. Anyway, you can try to bring such case to your boss, though I'm not sure if it will go any further. And don't you think that whoever killed Baron, it was a kind gesture of him? Now everybody is much happier. The person who is cruel to those who can't protect themselves must be stopped. You caught the murderer. Wait, really? You caught the murderer, but it's up to you if you proceed with formal accusation. Will you do it? Back to the main menu. I mean, I don't have anything really. But is she really the murderer? Is that the thing? Like, you actually caught the murderer? Is that like the confirmation that she was the one who killed him? Will you do it? Okay. That was everyone, I guess. That was old-fashioned way to die. So, yeah, alright. So, I guess it was Nina. Damn. The quietest, most sweetest girl in the whole lot. Yeah, but you know, she probably suffered a lot seeing the Baron being so mean to everyone, but still kill him. And why? I guess she got, I don't know. She was scared for the puppy. She probably, you know, liked the dogs more than the Baron. And the fact that the Baron was spending the money of her godmother, that probably wasn't a good thing. The fact that he was somewhat of a tyrant in the family, maybe, that was also... She felt like, yeah, everybody would be just fine with the death. Alright, that was the one, I guess. I guess we found the murderer. Well, we can't prove it, because the glass would be washed, so I don't know what the idea is. What Anastasia Meslaya was thinking in terms of the ending, that she would get away with, like that Nina would get away with the murder, or that she would actually get or justice would be served, but you know what, we can speculate. For now, that was everyone. That was old-fashioned way to die. If you want to check out the game yourself, or you want to show it to someone who might be interested in it, and you know, try to accuse other characters, or just leave without accusing anyone and just conclude, and see, you know, what happens if there's gonna be like, I don't know, a different, I'm guessing there's gonna be a different ending that you can check out. So see how that goes. Again, you can find the game on itch.io. It's available for Windows. You can also play it online, but it's just easier to just download it for Windows. It's available for free, or you can give Anastasia here, Anastasia, the developer, the creator, you know, $1, $2, $3, $5, $10, however much you like. Also, maybe listen feedback, say what you like, what you didn't like. There's definitely a lot of text, and you know, and the artwork is very nice and, you know, timely, I guess. I would have liked more like to get to know, not to get to know the characters, but to get to know the situation of that tea party more. Like I wish I could have asked more questions of, you know, I could have asked Linda what she was talking to her grandfather about, because it was like that was a heated discussion. So what was he saying to her? Like, that would have been nice to have more information about that. But it's still a cool game, you know, check it out, itch.io. Thanks so much everyone for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up real quick. And if you like what I do here, consider subscribing. Check out the back catalog, check out YouTube, check out BitChute, check out Odyssey, check out Rumble if you want to see all the cool games that I cover. And after that, please take just half a minute to see the ways to which you can support me so I can continue doing gaming coverage and more for a very long time. The best way to support me is to join my locals community at cryptichybrid.locals.com. The link is also in the description below. You can join my locals community for free, it doesn't cost a thing. You can become a member and get access to all the public posts that I make on there, or you can become a supporter, and that is $4 a month. And for those $4 a month, you get, let's see, no crime to declare. Okay, oh, you just go back to the menu. For those $4 a month, you get tons and tons of perks, more than, you know, anyone is offering for, you know, a comparable price or even higher price. You get early access videos. If you're a supporter, you get support-only live streams. You get to decide what I play every Monday on live stream. You get to ask questions for future interviews. You'll be the first to know who I interview and when, and you can submit your questions to be asked during those interviews. You can participate in game giveaways, and you can request a topic to be discussed either in a regular live stream or in a supporter only stream. All those perks, $4 a month, cryptichybrid.locals.com. Join locals right now and you know, support me and all of my endeavors under the Cryptic Hybrid umbrella, which at this point well over 3,200 videos, gameplay videos, live streams, developer interviews. Again, I'm on multiple platforms, so there's you know, I'm not putting my eggs in one basket, so you can find my content on, you know, multiple sites. If there might be, you know, a problem with one, you can check another one to find, especially the gameplay videos. And what else? Other ways to support me, by the way, you can give me the direct donation through PayPal. There's a PayPal link in the description. You can donate cryptocurrency to the PayString link. You can donate bats, basic attention tokens. Just tip me bats on any video of mine on YouTube, or any video, or any post that I make on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I'm at Cryptic Hybrid. And last but not least, there's a Humble store link in the description below. Just bookmark that link, have it ready whenever you use it to buy either a bundle or a single game. You're not gonna pay anything extra for the stuff that you buy. You're just gonna tell that store to send me a small percentage of the money you spend there. So it's a very, very small thing that you can do. It costs you nothing, and it can be quite a bit of help for me and the channel. So thanks again everyone for watching. This has been Old-Fashioned Way to Die, and until the next time we see each other, I don't know, careful what you drink, and have an awesome day.